Yeah, shocking. No one could understand it. Your reaction?
Well, it was shocking. I know you're anti-everything Lakers and a little anti-Luka.
That's not
but
true
it was,
at all.
but
I'm anti-complaining and excuse making.
Okay,
so,
but
yes.
you've watched the league as long as I have. Have you ever seen a player ejected for an interaction with a fan? Bruce watched it the longest. I've never seen it. So I think anytime it's the first time any of us have ever seen anything, it is understandable for the coach and the player to be surprised by it. I think
Many of the Pacers were ejected.
For interactions for hitting a fan?
That came to mind.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
that's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, that is,
Same
sure.
ballpark.
You know what?
Pistons,
You know what? Good point. Checkmate there. But yeah, I've never seen it, and I think there should be consequences for the official.
Oh my! Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean that was absurd. But go ahead.
When we now know that, because we've all watched Luka. We can all say Luka talks too much. That's fine. This was not a game where Luka was even maximum Luka yelling at the refs, arguing, and this was not a setting in which he had been yelling at the ref. He got a technical going up the court 15 feet from the official, arguing that someone else got fouled. So it wasn't like he got in his face. That was the technical in the third quarter. This came when he had just checked back into the game. So he had been sitting the whole start of the fourth quarter, so it's not like he and the ref had been going at it. And on a play that it's not as if the ref had reason to believe he's looking for a foul, he's yelling at me. There was no contact. It's not that he and the ref, it wasn't a reasonable misunderstanding. And as anyone who's been to that stadium, and I'm sure that ref has been, knows that particular fan in those particular seats is always doing this, particularly with Luka.
So from what you're saying, what do you think the ref was thinking?
I think the ref was looking for a reason to throw Luka out.
Really?
Oh, stop with this nonsense. Oh my God, just stop. Just stop. We know who Luka is. He is relentless on the refs. He goes non-stop and just goes after them literally from start to finish every single game. It doesn't matter if this specific game wasn't his worst performance in terms of yelling at the refs, but we know exactly who Luka is. So just stop. Right? He was looking for reasons to throw him out. That's such nonsense. That is such nonsense. He had the technical, and then you can even see that he's looking essentially right at the direction of the ref. I understand that it wasn't at the ref, but you can see why this could be. Let's cue this up. Look, we can see where the ref is. We see him yelling. We see him looking. Look, we can see. Directly yelling, and the ref is right there. Right there. That's how something like this happens. And that's the problem that you are when you're Luka, when you yell at the refs non-stop. That's what happens. That's how this unfolds. When you're yelling at the refs non-stop, game after game after game, year after year after year, play after play after play. You open up the door to having these types of situations. But to say that the ref was trying to find reasons to throw Luka out of the game is just absurd. Just absurd. Great, let's put out that whole tinfoil hat theory now. Let's start that whole conspiracy theory now. That the refs are trying to throw Luka out of the game. They're trying to get the Lakers to lose. Right, that's smart to do. I mean, that's absurd. You can complain and say that this was the wrong call, that the NBA should do something about it, that there should be, more protections for situations like this. I'm all for that. But it's just like if you dress as a crazy person, you can't be shocked that people treat you as crazy. Okay? Just the way it works, man. It's just the way it works. You're not looking to give someone like Luka the benefit of the doubt when he is the type of player and the type of person and has the type of relationship with the refs. It's just the way it is. It's just like that in all aspects of life. It's how life works, okay? If I'm constantly cheating on my girlfriend and I'm constantly a jerk, and the one time that I'm not cheating on my girlfriend and she's like, what, where were you late last night? I was like, I was working. And she's like, I don't think you were. And you're like, yes, I was. Why don't you believe me? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe because I lie all the time, man. Maybe that's why. So, it's like, if this wasn't in Luka's history, then I could understand. But Luka is just relentless on the refs to the point that it's obnoxious, that it's a disgrace, that it's crazy that the NBA even allows it. The Mavs were begging Luka to just stop. Just stop. Kid was begging with him to stop with the refs. Stop with the refs. That's what happens. That's what happens. Anyone who's bald know that that's what happens when you're that type of player. I was that type of player. I was always carrying on with the refs, and I did not get the benefit of the doubt. It was a mistake on my part. I wish I had a better coach that really kind of, knocked some sense in me and was like, you got to stop. You're hurting yourself. You're not helping yourself in these moments. So this is just absurd, man. This is so ridiculous. You don't get to be a victim in this moment. You just don't. Not when you have the personality and just this obsession and nonstop onslaught of abuse towards the refs. Just after every single play from Luka. He's always yelling and chirping at the ref. And again, I blame the NBA. I blame the NBA more than anything. Because it's the NBA that allows this to happen from a cultural perspective. This doesn't happen in football because it's not allowed in football, essentially. You can't be yelling at the refs every 5 seconds. It's not the way how it works in the NFL. If you see a player really yelling and chirping at the ref, you're just like, well, what? That's not a thing. But the NBA allows it. So I blame the NBA more than anything. 100%. But this is what the NBA has created. This is how this unfolds. And so you're going to get moments like this. It's that straightforward. Just the way it goes, man. Just the way it goes. And you're, oh, well, he had a technical because he was complaining about another call that wasn't to do with him. And he was like 13 feet down. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're complaining about. It's how it happens, man. That's the reputation that you have when you're Luka. When you're that type of person. It's the same thing that happens with Draymond Green. That's what happens. And it's funny because when it happens to Draymond Green, you say, that's what happens when you're Draymond Green. Like when they threw Draymond Green out for stepping on someone's chest against the Kings, which was like nonsense, even though he grabbed his leg and like twisted, but they still threw Draymond Green out. Or when they suspended, Draymond Green in the playoffs for just like kind of like standing up and kind of like colliding with LeBron. It's your reputation, man. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. And so when you're Luka and that's your reputation, that's well deserved because you created that reputation. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. It's that cut and dry. Live with it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Luka being suspended and Nick claiming that the ref was looking for a reason to eject Luka? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.